The following program is rated TV MALV. It contains strong language, violence, and nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Here we go, Barflies. Welcome to the Barfly Tailgate Show. You already know it's done by Barflies for Barflies and all the other Bears fans out there. Fellas, what a fucking week. It's been a long one. First and foremost, for anyone who notices that Chris is not here, he's feeling a little under the weather, so T's and P's out to him. Hope he gets to feeling better. I was really looking forward to his wanker of the week. We're trying to figure out who to put it on, but unfortunately, he is not feeling good today. And KB just backed out, so hopefully he'll be back. But Jordan, how you doing this morning, man? What's going on?
I'm well. Good morning, fellas. It's I don't know if I'd be the one to do the wanker of the week, but I'm sure I could find somebody. It's not hard to find blame on this rolling dumpster fire of a team. But I mean, it's all good. We're here this morning. It's 7:06 a.m. on the West Coast, and I'm excited to chat for the next 90 minutes with you fellas.
Absolutely. KB, welcome back, brother. Man, we missed you last week. How you doing out there in South Bend, Indiana? How is it feeling in the land of the Irish?
Let's just say I'm glad I wasn't out last night because I know it's some fans was rioting, boy. I heard sirens going off, so I know it was bad. But man, it's the weather starting to change a little bit, man. It's starting to get a little bit of that fall feel every once in a while, but most days you get that, hey man, it's hot as shit. So hey, just here to talk football, baby. About this trash ass team, boy. We here for
it. Yeah, if there's one thing we have as Bears fans, it's loyalty. I mean, we buy in every offseason, and then by week 3, we're ready to burn it all down and try to start over. I mean, last week was the first time I can remember since the Tressman era where I turned the game off. I turned it off. Yeah. When we went down, I think it was 20-10. I said, you know what? I paid for the Sunday ticket. I'm going to look around a little bit and see what else is going on. So I flipped over to the Bengals game, and they were losing too. So I was like, well, fuck, both of my teams are losing. And then I flipped over to the Kansas City and Jacksonville game, and that was boring as shit, which was surprising down there in Florida. And then I saw the score pop up that the Bears scored. I was like, well, 3-point game. I guess I'll flip it back over. And I flipped it over just in time to watch them call 2 screen passes on their own 5-yard line, one of which got picked off for a pick 6. So, it's fun. Matthew Fulchisi says it's sad, AC. I agree. It's just – it's so difficult, man. And then I get to go to work where I've told you guys before, Kentucky is it's an entity all in its own where we don't have a pro team. You know, Cincinnati's the closest one. But so you get a lot of Steelers fans, there's Bengals fans, there's Cowboys fans. Of course, it's their year finally. It's just different, and I get to hear about it. But Jordan, what were your takeaways from last week's game? And then we'll try and, I guess, turn the page again. I mean, we got a lot to talk about today.
I mean, I know we were talking about it last week, but I think I was saying, it's hard to go down to Tampa, have swamp ass, and play a team that's used to that. And it doesn't help when Nate Davis doesn't play. And I actually thought Tyree Carter did pretty well. I think that they got something there, so that's inspiring. Now Braxton Jones looks okay, but now he's gone, and Darnell Wright looks fine. I mean, but the reality is that they got ragdolled a bit, and Todd Bowles sent that blitz,
which we saw happening.
Yeah, I mean, you think back to certain certain plays. You got Cole Kmet on the sideline dropping a pass that you just can't drop. Nice ball to Claypool, of course, but I think a lot of people are like, well, a touchdown's a touchdown, but you get style points, then you get, hey, you have Cole Kmet running the wheel route that was wide ass open. That I'd rather you make the easy throw than try to sit there and thread a needle. But the long and short of it is they got outclassed, as they usually do, and I planted my flag last week, I guess a week earlier than most people, but I'm still here planting it, which is I'm out on the quarterback, I'm out on the coach. I would be out on the GM, but I can't be, because if you get rid of the GM, you're going to end up losing all those draft picks too, because the next guy is going to not value them the same way. So at the end of the day, I wish the best for Justin Fields. I hope he finds it at another organization that isn't so dysfunctional. But as you can see, I'm scouting college quarterbacks left and right because I know this routine. I know what's coming. So best of luck to the team. I'm still here rooting. But as far as the Bucs game, that was another pretty sad excuse of an NFL team. I should call them XFL team now, because that's about where they should be playing.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of that Michigan quarterback on your timeline lately. I think I know who you got your eyes on next year in the draft.
You know why? Because he plays like Justin Fields, which is probably a good and a bad thing. That's why.
KB, did you watch the game last week? What were your thoughts overall? And
all right, so let's go with full disclosure here. I was fucked up last weekend, bro. I was in Houston. It's a lot of drinking involved. Yeah. That being said, I got to catch bits and pieces of the game because I was actually catching my flight at the time. So I got to see the bits and pieces. I saw a couple, drives in the first. Saw the touchdown drive. I was like, okay, they coming out there doing something, as typical Bears. And then it just went downhill. I spent a lot of time looking at the loading screens, probably for the better, because I probably would have been cussing and screaming at the terminal, probably been locked up by, airport security or some shit. Black guy losing his fucking mind. It's Houston, so it wouldn't be really bad. But it's just an endless waltz of bullshit, man. It's the same shit every year. You dress a pig up, and then next thing you know, you dressing the pig up again in a different outfit, and you thinking it's gonna be different. At this point, I don't know what to say about this team anymore. I'm sure we'll get into all the antics that happened this week.
Yeah.
But as far as that game, you battle back. Okay, I get it. I don't get what the hell I don't know what our offensive philosophy is at all.
Buddy.
I want to venture and say that the defense looked a tad bit better with Eberflus calling plays. But that's not saying a lot right now.
Yeah.
I guess the goal, the goal twinkle in the eye is Cuz is playing good as shit.
Yeah. I was going to try and bring up some bright spots, and Andrew Billings is graded out as the top-rated Chicago Bear in the first 2 weeks.
I want to just quickly apologize, KB, because I was, I've been talking a lot, and I swear, I promise, forgive me. It's just because it's early in the morning, 7:00 here. I'm not kidding when I say I mean, and it couldn't have happened to a better guy. He's been gracious with his time when he's come on. Everything you talked about with your cousin, he seems like a fantastic man. I've told you how high I was on him when he was coming out of Baylor. So,
yes, sir.
Forgive me because I forgot to tell you, he is honestly probably the only redeeming one of the few guys on the team. It's Roshan, it's him, it's DJ Moore, who I feel like is shackled because he doesn't get enough opportunities. And that's the sad part is about that. That's about it. After that, it's like who else?
Man, look, bro. Well, nothing would make me happier than him to be posed as Akeem Hicks. Nothing will make me happier. That's all I'm saying.
Honestly, and I'm not. I promise.
Yes,
AC, KBAC, I'm not even standing. Like I'm not bullshitting here. Give my man the new contract. Like I know it's hard when the team's losing, and I know we're only 2 weeks in, but I always will stand by that. Like, why are we rewarding people for losing? But at a certain point, when you're just a joke of a franchise, you got to break precedents a little bit and be like, look, we brought in a bunch of free agents. We brought in some highly paid ones, and they're not doing what this man is doing. Pay that man.
Facts.
Put some more change in his pocket. So you tell your cousin that's what I need by the end of the season.
Oh yeah.
Give that man an extension.
The only downfall is we just drafted 2 defensive tackles, second and fourth round. So we'll have to see if he can get that contract. But I got a Billings jersey on the way, just so y'all know. Hopefully it's here before October 22nd when I make my my trip up there to Chicago, because I got a blue one for me and the wife's got a white one on the way. So we'll be supporting Big Cuzzo when we get up there in the stands for sure. But the only other bright spot is, I mean, Roshan Johnson ripped off a 30-yard run and then they just pulled him off the field. So I
mean, hey, but you know, and I have to say this because I'm just the weird one that sees this shit. I've never heard anybody say another word about it. You know, everybody talks about they ran the same play 3 times at the end. They ran a toss play to Roshan Johnson for 30 yards or whatever it was. And it ended up being a penalty or timeout. But the next play, they got the snap off and then it wasn't an active play. It was the same exact run.
Oh, yeah. It was.
It was the same. Which is fine. I mean, maybe it would have worked, but I just can't help but laugh. I'm like,
didn't they just flip it? Didn't they try to do it to the other side? Wasn't that what it was?
Maybe it was, but I'm like, it was the same toss, fullback in the game. Like, and it wasn't like, oh, man, we just didn't have any time on the clock, so we just had to run the same play. I'm just going like, man, Luke Getsy's at the point where you could just see him on the play sheet. He's like, well, that was a positive play, and all these others have red X's next to it because they haven't worked. So, shit, go for that's the only green one. Call it again.
I was going to say hit repeat. Yeah, damn it.
But no, Roshan looks excellent, AC. Yeah. Should be starting.
And I've told you guys, I'm out on the coach. I was out on the coach before I was out on the quarterback. I still have faith. I'm holding on to what I saw in the draft. You know, what I saw at Ohio State, what I saw in spurts last year. We've seen Justin Fields do it. And he came out this week. I guess we'll get right into it. This week he came out and the media, shout out to the media for actually holding someone's feet to the fire for the first time. I've never seen that. Where they said, you know, what's happening out there? And he said, I don't know, maybe I'm playing robotic. And they're like, well, they continued to push to really get to the root cause of it. And he basically said, you know, maybe it's coaching. Maybe I'm just getting too much information and I'm out there thinking instead of being out there playing. He tried to walk back those comments and say that the media was flipping the team against the coaching, but I don't understand. I mean, it seems to me like they pulled the exact quote. I don't see how they could have pushed that any other way other than you said you were being overcoached. And we kind of said that too. Well, it just drives me insane. I'm sitting on my couch. I can see guys open and know a screen's coming. So these guys who study film all week long, are in the weight room all week long, have professional head coaches telling them what to watch for, you know, they've got to see it. Like, hopefully Justin comes out today and plays well. I mean, we need it. We have 2 first-round picks, and it would be absolutely incredible if we didn't have to use one of those on our quarterback and we can move forward. But I'm still out on the coach. We already talked about it. KB, your cousin's balling out. We're playing well against the run. I think teams are averaging 3 yards a rush against us. And we won't see a whole lot of that with Kansas City today, I don't think, because they just don't run the ball as often. But then when you get in those 3rd and long situations, it's like they pick it up every time. Yes. That's why I turn the game off. I can't sit here and watch us 3rd and 8, 3rd and 12.
MO for the past decade? Like, has that not always been the thing? What did I say? This is something I didn't get to say about in the last our last thing. Well, I was just like, we played the Packers, and what did I say the key would be? On defense, you should bring pressure every fucking chance you get, because why would you let Jordan Love just sit back there? You don't have Khalil Mack. You don't have Julius Peppers. You don't have this bookend go get it defensive end. So you have to bring 5, maybe 6, to rattle somebody. You can see the Falcons were lit his ass up. They were getting in his face. Yeah, he made plays. I can live with you having a 0 coverage going at somebody, and then he makes a play. But when you're bringing 3 and 4 fucking rushers all game, and you putting people in the coverage, and he's just sitting back there with 7 seconds to throw the damn ball, yeah, the man's gonna look like fucking Mahomes. What do you expect? And it's been that way. Every time we get a 3rd and long, if we play this soft shell fucking bullshit, and all people are doing is, hey, let's go to the sticks, throw over the middle. They're always going to be soft over the middle. It's always the same shit. It doesn't change, man.
That's the scheme. That's the Tampa 2 scheme. You play zone, you get home with 4, and now Eberflus, I'll give him a little credit. Last week he did dial up a couple of blitzes, but we still weren't hitting. I mean, we brought it Yannick Ngakoue, who came in with 8 sacks every season his whole career, and all of a sudden he can't tackle Baker Mayfield. I mean, he had him dead to rights twice.
Baker was a magician last week.
Man, every Baker time, looked like Joe Montana. Like, man, he was just out there dealing, and it just killed me. It kills me as a Bears fan. And today at 4:25, if you look at the slate of games, your boy can't turn the game to a better game. there just ain't a whole lot there at 4 o'clock. So I'm not sure. I mean, I guess I'll just have to sit through it and watch it. But
you gotta sit through the shit.
It's literally the first time since the Trestman era that I turned the game off, when I stopped watching and I went and did something else. Even my father-in-law, my father-in-law, we went and had dinner yesterday. And he was like, "I heard you turn the Bears game off last week." I was like, "Hell yeah, I did. Fuck those motherfuckers."
It's you get the feeling, man. One of our dearly departed brothers from the show, man. I'm starting to feel like Badge on some days, where I'm just really so fucking frustrated and pissed that I'm just like, bro, I don't want to talk about this fucking team, because it's never us talking about a positive. It's never us saying, hey, we're on the 3 or 4 game win streak. How can we keep this up? Or, just getting that outlook of, hey, we got this team coming up, man. This is going to be a good game to watch. We thought that was going to be Packers game, because we thought something was going to change.
Absolutely.
But it's not. It's literally the same shit, man. And it's literally us for what, almost 4 years now doing this shit, coming in saying the same shit, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, Wednesday was a really rough day at Halas Hall. KB, I told you before, I was trying to pull that clip from The Office where Michael Scott's saying, "Stay fucking calm, stay fucking calm." That's what I was, but I didn't pull it. But that's what it reminded me of as I was watching all the press clippings, and hidden in that was Braxton Jones goes on IR, so now you've got Larry Borum at left tackle, who I don't trust. I mean,
we barely trusted Braxton Jones. Shit.
So I mean, Justin's going to be running a lot. He's going to have to because those guys are, and you got Chris Jones coming in and a bunch of a young, fast defense. Kansas City doesn't get as much credit because you got Mahomes and Kelsey on the other side, but that defense has been playing pretty well this year, and they come after you, and they definitely play hard around Chris Jones, and then you got Chris Jones taking on graded as the worst center in the league with Lucas Patrick and Cody Whitehair completely forgetting how to play guard all of a sudden. And Ja'Tyre Carter was fine. I mean, he was out of position a few times, but he's a backup. You know what I'm saying? And you got Darnell Wright, a rookie right tackle. So it's all bad news. You guys, what'd you guys feel when Braxton went on IR? I just felt weird that they kind of. It's almost like they snuck it in there, and it's such big news. You know what I mean? Like with everything else that was happening, it just kind of like, oh, by the way, while we got you,
man, this when I saw it, because it was just shit just coming out left and right. And first of all, you already knew we had the. Hey, this shit with Alan Williams was going on, whatever the case may be, or whatever the situation may be. And it's just like, okay, so this is continuously looming. Is this man going to get play calling duties back? Is this going to be that, or whatever the case may be? And then it was like, oh, Just Fields came out. Yeah, could be coaching. Okay, thanks, Justin. Somebody's finally speaking the truth here. Thank you. And then it was like, hey guys, Braxton Jones hurt. Hey, yeah, Alan Williams resigned. Wait, hold on, let's backtrack a little bit, man. Why is he hurt? When the fuck did this happen? How?
Right.
Like, why? Why is this a thing? And your mind just goes immediately of like, bro, he was already kind of just on the edge of playing. Who's gonna play left tackle?
Yeah, they talked about maybe a Darnell Wright moving back over there, but he didn't do great at that in college. He was okay at it, but
we heard some of everything. They said something about Darnell Wright because that's on the table. Bourne, which was the one that made the most sense, I guess. And then he even said something about Ja'Tyre Carter moving over. So, the fuck if I know. Look, this line that we thought was gonna be rebuilt. Hell, we don't even know if Nate Davis is playing yet.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, but hey, fellas, you just can't fix it all in one off season. It's been like 20 months, and you just got to give it some more time. You just need like another 13, 14 months, and we'll fix the center and the left guard spot. We'll get a couple DNs, and it'll all be gravy, baby. Like,
hey man, we always hear this shit about the Pickens pick, and we could have had George Pickens, blah blah blah. We could have had the fucking center out of fucking Minnesota. I will die on this fucking hill. He was on the board, like there, two times.
We could have had John Michael Schmitz this year, but they didn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Schmidt, 2 times, bro. I can't, bro.
They didn't trust Cuzzo to hold down one of those D tackle spots primarily, so that you could have freed up one of those D tackle spots to get yourself a center. But I mean, it's easy to play hindsight. It's frustrating.
It is, but it's just like, bro, so this is comedian that I watch on Instagram a lot. He does like these skits where he's sitting in the window and he's watching people cook or watching people do stuff. Yeah. And he's like, what's happening here? So, bro, I feel like that with the Bears, bro. Like, you watch them pick the D tackles. I get it. You need it. D-line help, whatever. But like, bro, I'm just don't pick it. Like, that's how I feel, bro. It's just deflating. It is deflating. I don't know what's the plan going forward? That's my major question. When I'm sitting here agreeing with Shady McCoy, we have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
We have a legit problem, bro.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough, and it's just, man, it's. I guess I should have done a show rundown because I don't
know. We
it's
can talk about stuff. It's not like we're running out of things. I mean, it's
No, not at all.
there's a lot. It's just all kind of jumbled up
Well,
here. I'm trying to.
I'll tell you
line it
what,
out.
I could be totally imagining things, and I did see it. Aldo had a question for me, so I'll answer that in just a second. But I will say I do. Maybe it's conspiracy theorist, but do you realize how hard it is to get one of 32 jobs in the NFL of a coordinator? Nobody resigns. Nobody resigns. So you can tell me health concerns and family issues all you want. I'm not telling you that there's probably not something there. There's absolutely, he's probably got a gazillion and one things. We're all people. We all have things outside of work that are frustrating. But I refuse to believe that it was just truly, a split with, harmony, and there was no issues between the staff and him, because I don't know. I think that at some point you probably had Flus go, just a little bit of strife going, hey, I like my defense called a certain way. You're not calling it, buddy.
Yeah, and, I mean, they didn't even give us any information though. They were just like, there is no update. There is
no, and that's a hard one for me too, because we have Greg Gabriel that always talks about it's none of our business, and I actually, to be fair, I think he's quite right. I don't need to be told why Nate Davis is missing work. If somebody tells you that they're not coming into work, I'm a manager. I don't sit there. None of my staff comes to me and goes, hey, tell me exactly why Joanna's not reporting to work. Like, no, it's nobody's business. So I get it, but at the same time, I do think that there's a cost of doing business that way, where it leads the fans and everybody to go like, is this a professional organization? Why are you so secret? I mean, it's not like what you're doing is working. You're not winning games with all those secrets, so you might as well just air a bit of it out. So it is strange. I just think that there's something underlying there, and I'm hoping that we get the story at one point. And then before I let it go, all this question of Juwan Taylor jumping off sides, I know he got benched last week for jumping off sides because of, they're tightening down on his rules. And I mean, that's the pain in the ass thing about it, is he's going to have to relearn and teach himself to get off the line at the right time. As far as what the Bears D lineman could do, I know it sounds silly, but I used to do it, and I know that NFL players do it. I like to shake the hands in front of an offensive lineman, like you shake your hand, you're acting like you're jumping off. You have your hand down, and then you have your free hand, messing around like you're getting off. I also think that a way that you could try to benefit is, and they won't do this because the Bears are the Bears, but if you would line up in these wide nine techniques.
I don't know why that shit made me laugh.
Well, the Bears are the Bears, but if you were to line up a wide nine, and you were actually like a Yannick Ngakoue, if you were able to get him beat a couple times, that would put pressure on him to be like, holy shit, they're out wide. I got to get out of my stance. I got to go. And that's what's going to be able to get him to fall back into those habits of jumping off sides. So, Aldo, I hope that answers your question. But
Did he have a history of doing that in Jacksonville?
Yeah. There's a lot of it. It's a whole other topic. We don't mind talking about it, but that he's not the only one. There are a lot of tackles that do this. He's just the most egregious. And
last week the Bucs defense was jumping our snaps pretty well. So God forbid we go on two once in a while. I don't know. Speaking of going on two, my guy is backstage, and I'm about to bring him in. I doubt he's able to raise our comfort level with these Bears, but my man Johnny Santucci, the two. Good morning, brother.
Good morning, Barflies. Hey, this is my one comment for today.
Hot mess.
That's the Bears. I can't think of another
All
word.
aboard the Hot Mess Express.
It can't get any worse. This is like the situation or the place that we find ourselves in, the exact worst situation for all the planning that went into the off season, to be 0-2, losing to the Packers where we were totally unprepared, and then going down to Tampa Bay, making Baker Mayfield look like a star. And then the defensive coordinator, the whole, rumor mill, the whole he resigned, the health things, no comment, and Eberflus taking over the defense, where ironically he went down to Tampa to play his Tampa 2 and got smoked. But we had a chance to win
by
the
Baker
game.
Mayfield of all people, Tooch.
By Baker Mayfield, the offense looked worse than it did with Allen Williams. What does that say for the future? I don't know. But I want to go back to a few things that KB and Aaron and Jordan said. I've been listening to the show, not just backstage, but from the start. And first of all, Aaron Current tweeted out, and I've said this twice on my Bears State of Affairs, that the Bears play an outdated defense for today's NFL. Yeah. I can't disagree with that, man. The Tampa 2, love it or hate it, it serves a purpose for part of the game, but you have to be innovative in today's passing game. The days where you force a team to march down the field like Lovie Smith did, and force them to do these large 15-yard drives, but it would be great if we had a pass rush. We don't have a pass rush. So
this defense works if you got Julius Peppers on the edge. But
yep.
How many of those guys are in free agency, first of all?
Yep. And then KB said it's been year after year, and really Jordan will agree with me on this, that this is a systemic organizational failure. I said on Bears State of Affairs that the Bears haven't drafted a blue chip player in a long time. I said on Bears State of Affairs it may have been Roquan Smith, but ironically, we traded away if he was our blue chip player, we traded away our blue chip player to get more blue chip players because we didn't have enough blue chip players. How does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that's the Bears organization in a nutshell. We do stupid shit like that. Now, the ownership knows nothing about football. I said the owner's 100 years old. Now, that's literally 100 years old. The people that are running the organization for her don't know football. They have to hire somebody from outside of the organization to tell them who to hire.
Yeah.
Okay. You see the organizational failure, building. Now, how does systemic organizational failure add up year after year? Well, it ends up being a 13-game losing streak. It ends up being personnel men and draft experts, scouts, swinging and missing in the draft for years. Mm-hmm. For years. Name a left tackle that we have drafted that was a Pro Bowler or blue chip player. You have to go back to Jim Covert.
Bro, name a goddamn lineman. Shit.
An offensive lineman, and a cornerback, it would be Peanut Tillman. But I'm talking about the strategic positions of the NFL: cornerback, left tackle, pass rusher, edge rusher, and a cornerback. And we haven't drafted well at the cornerback position. Maybe that's probably where we're best at. We go after linebackers and running backs in the Chicago tradition, and that doesn't work anymore. Another part of the organizational failure is that the quarterback position, for whatever reason, the Bears cannot develop a quarterback. The only reason we had success was Jim McMahon was able to read defenses without coaching. Ed Hughes was a pretty good offensive coordinator, though. If you go back and look at some of the old Bears, Super Bowl season playbook, it wasn't a bad playbook. They had a good offensive line, though. They had a good defensive line. So year after year, we don't have coaches in place. And the hire of Eberflus was I wasn't excited about it. And like Jordan says he's out. If you listen to Bears State of Affairs, I said I'm out. I'm out on Eberflus. It doesn't work. His defense doesn't work.
He's a PE teacher. I mean that, and I know that's disrespectful. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but that's what I called him. Is I have no doubt, too. He's a fantastic guy, truly.
Yeah,
he's
probably a great guy.
Hey, I remember Phil used to come on here and talk about Nagy being a shoe salesman.
Yeah,
this guy's a snake oil salesman. Yep. Your defense does not work. He walked in there with a silver tongue and told them about the hits philosophy, and they loved the way he sounded, and talked about getting your track shoes ready, and they loved the way that sounded, and he sold it to them, and they bought it. Took it hook, line, and sinker when guys like Mike McDaniel were sitting out there ready to get hired. Brian Flores, who's now the defensive coordinator for the Vikings. If you wanted to go defense, I'm more of the mind that we need to go offense. I know it didn't work with Nagy, but how much of Nagy was learning under Andy Reid, and honestly, the Kansas City offense, for everything they've had, hasn't looked too great under Nagy yet this year, but they'll get right today, I'm sure.
I'm still not sure he's calling the plays, but that's another.
I mean, have
discussion.
we even thought about the fact that You watched Matt LaFleur pants the Chicago Bears in week 1. What is Andy Reid and Matt Nagy going to do for the revenge game for Matt Nagy?
Dude, I think I came. Maybe it was backstage a couple weeks ago, and I told you that the pastor of my church is a big, long-suffering Bears fan like myself. I talked to him last night after Mass because I've been going to Saturday service, so I could do the show with you guys and fantasy football.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you,
stuff. So after Mass, he came by. They served dinner after Mass, and it's a rock and roll church. I love it. The music's great. But they, I told him, long-suffering Bears fan here. He's like, his words were, "Yeah, it could get painful. Tomorrow could be painful." I'm just saying that. Look at the public perception of our team. And this is from a fan, long time. I'm going on my 50th year as a Bears fan next year. Aldo's going on 60. Mike North is 65 years as Bear fans. We have one championship. I used to laugh at the people who would say they need to sell the team. I'm like, it's not the problem. It is the problem. You need to get somebody in there that is going to make the right hiring decisions and not make these dumb first-time hires. I've turned the flop on that. I've flopped on the team selling the ownership selling the team.
Well, we've tried it several different ways. We brought in John Fox as a retread, and that didn't work either.
Right?
It's they don't know football up there.
They don't know football.
We hired a president who might know some football, so that might help.
Agree.
I am not out on Ryan Poles. I'm seeing people in the chat saying that he is the Phil Emery, but I don't remember. I don't remember Poles drafting someone in the second round where I, as a football nerd, have to go who, like the receiver that he drafted in the second round.
Shaheen.
I've never done that with Poles. I actually know the guys. Yeah,
I'm not lying.
Yeah, it's tough, but I just don't.
See, but let's talk about that, AC, if I could, because I want to be clear. I'm not out on Ryan Poles either. But realistically, and it's early, this was where I totally understand the context. You have to wait probably about 3 years for a draft class to really show you who they are, what they've done. But in the 2 years that Ryan Poles has been there, I know it's not quite 2, but it's been, 20-ish months. What positives has he really done other than the following? The things that I can commend Ryan Poles on.
Yeah,
is that he's fantastic at tearing down a team to the studs. That's not really a hard job.
We could all do that. Let's just be fair.
Yeah. So
I can get rid of guys too.
But credit to him. Credit to him too. He understood how to cut out the cancer. So fine, that's one positive in his bucket.
Yep.
The only other thing I could say is that he's been fiscally responsible with everything from stockpiling draft picks to properly navigating a number 1 pick and trading back. Getting a star receiver, which I Carolina desperately needs right now, and they're missing DJ Moore. To even fiscal responsibility with some of the contracts that he's handed out, not overpaying for guys. And I know we can talk about guys like Tremaine Edmonds, and that seems like an overpay. But even the way that it's been overpaid is we're going to front load the contract. So even if he sucks, it hits us in a year where it's probably not going to matter. We're not going for a Super Bowl. So even if Tremaine Edmonds blows, you can get rid of him by the end of next year, and it's not too prohibitive on your cap. So his cap maneuverability has been good too. That's about it. I'm not trying to sugarcoat. What else can you show me that he's done exceptionally well?
Yeah, sorry, KB. I just want to say the coaching hire was it seems like an afterthought, but go ahead, KB.
I was gonna say, just listening to my boy Jordan talk. What if this man had a plan this whole time, right? Now listen to me when I go here. You come in, you get handed a list of names, right? You get handed a list of names, right? All right, look, I might pick somebody from this list. Might not. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do. GM now goes out and says, you know what? I'll pick this dude, Eberflus. You come in, do whatever you got to do. You're my John Fox. All right. You load up the picks, you set yourself up so you can have all this fucking cap space, and then you fuck around and find out you might have 2 fucking top 5 picks. The cap maneuverability. Time comes around, end of the year. Hey, Eberflus, you gotta get the fuck on, dog. Can't do it with you. Hey, Justin Fields didn't work out the way you wanted to. Maybe somebody wants to take a bite at him. maybe somebody comes calling is willing to offer you a pick for Fields.
Yeah.
Oh, so now you got an extra pick on top of Fields. You got 2 top 5 picks. Then you get to bring in who the fuck you want to at your coach.
Yeah. So I see where you're going with this. I'm not gonna disagree. But what is Eberflus the John Fox hire?
Look, that's how I feel at this point. You bring somebody
feels
in
more like
just to get the locker room right in shape.
Yeah,
Man, as a Bears fan, that's so depressing. We have to wait years for this.
Well, it's.
I'm trying to spin a positive out of this. All right,
I get it. I totally get it, bro.
Let's paint the hill here. So what happened is the roster and culture was in absolute dysfunction.
Right.
So they had to bring in John Fox in to fix the culture.
For sure.
And then when he fixed the culture, they were like, okay, we can get creative and go get an offensive mastermind. So then they hired Matt Nagy. And Matt Nagy ruined the culture. You remember hearing about how practices were a joke and, people were loafing all over the field. Okay, so now we got to go back to the John Fox era. We got to get a guy to correct the culture of the team. Okay, now that the culture's corrected and we're doing the hits philosophy, now we can go hire an offensive mastermind for our new quarterback. And all that's fine at KB. I don't mind it. Like I told you, I'm out on Justin Fields now, but I've always been maintained that I will not be out on him for the kid. I think Tucci were saying that they haven't drafted blue chip players. I actually disagree. I think they've drafted blue chip players. They just never found out a way to develop those blue chip players. Yeah. And that is the issue. I will never blame Justin Fields for not working out in Chicago. That's Chicago. That's not him. Like I said, the only way you'd ever find me blaming him is if he was a Johnny Manziel where he's partying in Vegas and things of that sort. Right. That's never been an issue. So to me, the only way you keep me on this bandwagon and this train is go ahead, go draft your new quarterback. It can be McCarthy, Caleb Williams, Drake May. I don't give a shit. And then go pair him with a new offensive mastermind, another Matt Nagy, and then we'll be back here in another 4 to 5 years when it didn't work because you failed to develop a blue chip prospect. And then you'll either hire another John Fox PE teacher, insurance salesman to fix the culture, and that's how we'll do this. And then, all due respect, Virginia will probably be gone by that time, but that's the situation.
But here's the sad thing, though. If you look around the NFL, the defensive head coaches, every one of them have the same problem. They don't have an offensive line. They don't move the ball consistently. The only one that's working, quote unquote, working is the guy in Buffalo, and that's because he has an absolute superstar at the quarterback position. But look in Pittsburgh, they still can't get their offensive line working. Pickett looks terrified in the pocket. That's a defensive head coach with a lot. That's a defensive head coach with a lot of history of winning ball games, but he had a Hall of Fame quarterback. So unless you have that, your defensive-minded head coach is not going to work. Whereas in the LA Rams, we thought they were going to be terrible this year. But Sean McVay came in. He moved some things around. They get rid of pieces. They bring pieces in. His offense works. He moves a left tackle to right guard, which, oh, wow, that fucking works. We don't have that innovative mind in Chicago. We just don't get them. And when we have them in the building, we let them walk out and go hire a CFL head coach.
Facts.
We watched Bruce Arians walk out that door, and we went and hired Mark fucking Trestman.
Bro, don't bring that up. Don't bring that up. This
feels exactly like the Trestman era to me.
It's very Dave McGinnis-y.
The team. How many times do they have to hear about the hits philosophy before they're out on it?
Oh yeah, it's like
even Jalen Johnson said on the radio this week. Jalen Johnson said on the radio this week, you get tired of hearing the same post-game speeches from the same people after a loss. And the Bears have never fired someone mid-season, but it feels like they need to. Yeah.
That's what you're talking about, Aaron?
Facts.
Yeah.
That's the cycle of bullshit, bro. Endless walks of bullshit, bro.
40 years of this, Aaron.
Oh, my God.
Jordan, any arguments?
No, well, I mean, so let's try to turn it positive. And I'd love to solicit it from you all because everybody's got a unique way of doing this. But how do you break the cycle and get the train back on the tracks? That is the key question. And it's all just thought experiment because let's be real, the Bears are never going to change. They're going to keep the same shit up, which is why I'm joking. I will always be a Bears fan, but I joked the other couple weeks ago. I said I'm team agnostic. I'm just over here rooting for anybody because I don't think the Bears deserve fandom this way. I don't think that they've done anything to earn it.
I vote
But if
for
you were
whoever's covering the spread, Jordan.
Yeah, 100%. And if you were asking me, I mean, I'll just be
That's my
relatively
team.
clear. I've kind of outlined it. Like, to me, I think you have to cut ties with the head coach, all of his staff. I think you have to cut ties with Justin Fields
After the season or during the season.
They will never do it during the season, but
I know they won't. But what would be the better thing to do?
I guess
then you're talking about a Jeff
at the end of
Saturday
the
situation.
I would do it
at the end of the season, bro.
I would do it before. I would usually say in the season. I don't think that does you much, except this. I would cut him in the season, but around like week 10-ish, week 12-ish. And the reason I say that, get a head start on these other teams that have coaches that they're looking at. By that time, you'll know if Ben Johnson's real. You'll know what Harbaugh's plans are once he's, do that. Then you need to cut ties with Justin Fields, just because at this point, let's even say that Justin Fields looks good for 5 weeks in a row. And then he has some middling weeks. It's not him, but it's the contract, it's the money, it's the decisions. I don't have time anymore with you, Justin. I don't have time to see if you're that guy. I don't have time to think that maybe, because I got to make a decision on your 5th-year option too.
And look at the quarterback class next year.
Yeah.
It's loaded.
Unless he plays like Patrick Mahomes for the rest of the season, which, let's be real, he's not going to. Is there any way that he could do enough to make me go, absolutely, I'm signing, no question on the dot, 5th-year option, we're not taking a quarterback? The chances are slim to none. So I have to get rid of him. And then I'm bringing in my new coach. Hopefully it's an offensive guy. And now I'm getting – and this is from a Kevin Warren president standpoint. This is from the McCaskies. I'm now telling Ryan Poles, you hire your coach. You bring in your fresh quarterback. Now you 3 are all relatively aligned. And if it fails, you're all done. You are all on the same accountability. Poles, you selected your guy. Head coach, you came here, you chose to come to Chicago. You got your quarterback that you hopefully played a role in picking. It's your job to develop him. If it doesn't work, then cool. We can finally wipe the slate again. That is my best guess on how I would try to break that Bears cycle.
Yep. See, and this is how I look at it, bro. Because the way I saw it when the names came out, it was like my boy Jordan said, it was always I'm pro Brian Daboll. It made the most sense. He came from he made an offense that was tailored to a quarterback that's very similar to ours.
Right.
It would have made sense. And if it wasn't going to be him, the other name that always made sense to me was Dan Quinn. Unless Dan Quinn came in here and was like, you know what, I'm good, and he checked out, then then I get it. You go and get Eberflus for whatever fucking reason. But if you brought Dan Quinn in the building, if Dan Quinn really wanted to coach this team, he should have gotten the fucking job. If you weren't going to hire Daboll, you should have brought in Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn is taking the team to a Super Bowl. Yep. He knows how to coach a roster, and he's had
his
the time
defense
off
is
to go
not
get his defense
outdated.
Right. Exactly. So,
I mean, I'm not trying to be the scheme guy, but like real quick, I don't think people realize, because they hear it all the time, Chicago Bears fans, that the Bears run an outdated system. That is 1,000% true. But then people, there's a lot of conflating of like, well, is it because they're not a 3-4? And I've heard that too. That's hilarious. Like, you can't win with a 4-3. I mean, you can go look at there's 2 teams that I would encourage and implore people to go watch. Just watch one Sunday with them. The Saints run an even front, and they mix it up and do funky shit where they will even switch to an odd front based in games. They're literally like, hey, we are traditionally a 4-down team, but when it calls for it, we will get in a bear front using standing up edge.
Is Jim Schwartz there?
No, he's the Browns.
Browns.
That's
okay.
not. But the Browns is another example
for
4-down.
Yep.
But the Dan Quinn one. This is the point of the Dan Quinn one. Dan Quinn came from Pete Carroll. He was a Carroll 3 guy. He has changed his stripes to play a fuck ton of cover 2. The exact same cover 2 that the Chicago Bears run. Go watch a Cowboys game and watch how that man gets into cover 2.
Yeah, but look at
I'll
take DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons rushing the passer any day. Any defense can look good with those 2 guys.
I get it, but I'm talking about just coverage structures. The amount of
but those coverage structures work a lot better when you have a fucking awesome pass rush. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
those guys are unblockable. Both those guys.
And if we had that on this defense, maybe this defense looks
man.
good. Who knows?
If we had those two guys, they may be sucking Eberflus's dick.
I mean, that's a separate issue too. And
Aldo, go back and pull this.
But that's a separate issue too. Real quick, is that I mean, and I know I've talked about it before, but as much, and I'm going to hold Ryan Poles accountable by his words. He claims that he chose Matt Eberflus, which fine. You said you did. I'll believe it. Nothing about the team building made sense with the guy that you hired. Even because I would think that Ryan Poles would want to build the trenches as a former lineman, but fine. Maybe he's four-dimensional thinking. But, I mean, you hear Greg Gabriel talk about it all the time because I'm certainly not going to expect Greg Gabriel to talk shit on the Tampa 2 and what this defense can be and yada, yada, yada. Which is a different era, Greg, but that's fine. That's it. You're in a different land. But the whole point is, you'll hear Greg say it all the time. If you want this defense to function, to your point, Tooch, you need front four. Above all else.
Pressure
above, yes, four. You need linebackers, you need corners, but you need pressure because the whole basis is we don't want to send more than 4.
Yeah.
And then the GM hires or drafts and picks up people that match the philosophy of a defensive back specialist like Brian Flores or Bill Belichick, where he's drafting corners in back-to-back years and spending chump change in a bag of chips found in the couch cushion.
The guy, where's Ogunjobi? Because he was the guy we were trying to get for interior
He's
pressure.
In Pittsburgh.
He's in Pittsburgh. Okay, so
he's playing all right. He's
playing all right. But I mean, he also has TJ Watt alongside him.
Yeah, but this is my point: is that he's had every opportunity, and I know people say, well, he drafted the 2 rookie D tackles, and sure, it's a start.
Yep.
But you've built the team based from the back to the front, which I don't mind. I actually think that's more forward thinking. But then you hired a backwards thinking coach.
Yep.
You're drafting a defense for Brian Flores where they need athletic man corners who can just lock you up. Fantastic. Then go hire a coach that's going to use those corners. Yeah, but you go in and hire a coach that's like, hey, I really need a dominant front to be successful. Cool. I'm going to take a bag of chips and invest what I found in the couch cushions on your D line. Like that just doesn't help. And you find some gems like Cuzzo, like Andrew Billings, but there's also a lot of messes where Justin Jones doesn't look like that dude. Dominic Robinson.
Sounds like it though.
I was very high on Dominic Robinson, and he still hasn't developed. And maybe it's him, but I also think who have the coaches developed?
Exactly. Systemic organizational failure. They don't hire coaches that can develop talent. Aaron. Go ahead and don't you agree with that, Aaron? How long we're waiting for them to develop somebody?
Yeah, anybody. And I mean, KB made a great point talking about Dabo. That was a guy I liked a lot. And since he's left Buffalo, Josh Allen's turned into a turnover machine. And I mean, he hasn't gotten it right in New York, but that's not on him that they decided to extend Daniel Jones, I think. But it just sucks, man. It just sucks to wake up Monday morning and know, oh, well, Bears are 0-2, and they're looking down the barrel at 0-3, and who knows what happens against Denver the week after. I mean, it's really deflating, and if we're feeling it, I know they're feeling it. You know what I'm saying? KB, I don't know if you've spoke with your cousin about what the locker room's like. Eberflus says that Eberflus says they're all still sticking together, but if we're on here talking like this as a fan, look, 60 years, 20 years, 15 years, then they've got to be feeling it in that locker room. Brother, I mean, how many times do you have to do your job as Andrew Billings or anyone else on the D line that's stopping the run? That's this defense. You're supposed to get them in 3rd and long situations and then play smart and sound football. That's part of the fucking hits philosophy. However, we're giving up 3rd and 18s, 3rd and 15s, 3rd and 20s. Like, what are we doing? It's got to all go back to the coach. And if they do fire him mid-season, the question is, who becomes your interim head coach?
Right.
Because are we going to trust Getsy, who just called
Saturday
3 screens in a row? Are we going to trust whoever's running the defense now because our defensive coordinator just resigned?
Danny Trevathan said call him, bro. I seen it too.
Hey, You already know where he went to college. That's my guy.
Look, I'm sorry. The way I feel, bro, you start 0-4. Folk, things got to be done, bro. Like, no, you look. I get it. Kansas City is gonna be a tough ask, but the reality of the truth is Kansas City has not looked like Kansas City. Then they're missing their starting middle linebacker. Yeah, they got Chris Jones back. That's going to be a problem. But you saw Detroit just play hard-nosed football against these dudes. Run the fucking ball. You got Roschon Johnson. Roschon Johnson's the most complete back you got. Use them.
Yeah.
Yep.
The sad part is it's ways you can talk yourself into the fact that the Bears should be able to win a game like this with a compromised Kansas City Chiefs team who only has Travis Kelce on offense and Patrick Mahomes.
So
sounds like it should be an
What's
easy
the
way
best
to
draft
stop.
pick the Bears have made in the past 20 years?
The
Off the
best.
top of my head.
I'm still a fan of Darnell Wright, and I think he will be a good
In
right
time.
tackle.
Yeah.
But
Name the best draft pick.
The best draft pick in the past 20 years?
Yeah.
Probably Tommy Harris, or am I out 20 years at that point?
Yeah, Tommy
Shit,
Harris, I
yeah.
think was. I don't know. Tommy
But
Harris
like,
was up
I mean,
there.
to your
That's it.
okay, but next up, honestly,
man- the man they sent to Baltimore?
It could
Yeah,
be
Roquan Smith.
Roquan.
But
The
that's
man they
it,
sent to
though.
Baltimore.
It could be.
I know.
If you remember Eddie
Yeah,
Jackson, when he
Yeah.
wore 39, Eddie Jackson was up there.
yeah,
Yeah.
For whatever reason, he switched numbers and can't stay
yeah. But
healthy.
the problem with him is that he's
Look at our best against the rest of the NFL's best draft picks.
Yeah.
No, Chooch, the answer is clearly within the past 20 years because, like, you start getting murky when you start going like Tommy Harris or Mike Brown or
Yeah.
But-
Okay. Last 10 years.
the last 10. It's Roquan. It's no
Yeah.
question about it. That is the guy, and that's it.
But
Um,
after that, there's nobody.
No,
And
and that's
Eddie
what I'm-
Jackson. Okay.
Eddie Jackson was phenomenal, but the problem to AC, your point, the only thing I'd push back on is, but you have to be consistently great.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's not what there's been. That's the issue, too, is that the Bears will
We
occasionally hit
suck
on
at
the
drafting.
high spot.
That's my point. We
Anthony
suck
Miller
at it.
had like a great rookie year and then got his head full and then you went down. And then, you had Justin Fields who had moments, but then couldn't last. And Eddie Jackson. And
You can make the argument for Fuller then too, because Fuller
player.
started out murky, but Fuller was an All-Pro 1 year and pretty much an All-Pro the second year. But
Kyle Long, pretty good draft pick. Injured though.
They couldn't figure out where to put him.
Yeah. We fucked him up because he should have been a left tackle.
like
that's what they're doing to Tevin Jenkins.
We suck at developing players. We don't know where to put them. We hire the wrong people. We draft like shit. That's why we're in the mess we're in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, fellas, I'm looking at the schedule here. We got Chiefs today. We got Broncos next week, and then we have a Thursday night game against the Commanders before a mini bye. And I say that to say this: I'm seeing a lot of Bajent in the chat.
No.
I have always been. I love Justin Fields. I have his jersey. My whole family has his jersey. But at some point, if you're talking about a teardown and a change in the coaching staff and this and that, you might got to see what you got in Bajent before you go to draft another guy. And there's open guys on the field. We've seen Bajent get rid of the ball. Now, it was preseason, so you got that. But if you get a long week, do we see Bajent against the Vikings on October 15th?
Depends on if you've seen enough of Justin Fields to make a decision for the rest of the year.
If you're 0-5 or at that point 0-4? Well, no, 0-5.
0-8
Yeah.
at that time, right? Would you say week 8?
You said week 8? By the
No,
bye?
it's, we've got Chiefs, Broncos, Commanders, and
So
then
for
the
0
mini
and
bye.
5,
0-5.
0-5.
I would
If
still
you're
go.
0-5 and you still are getting the same production out of Fields, then yeah, why the fuck not? But my thing is this: you're bringing in this rookie quarterback, and what does he know of the system?
I guess
The
I'm
only
gonna
system he does know. Listen, Bajent has this going for him. Remember, a great head coach always looked for certain things in the draft. How many passes have they thrown?
Yeah.
What's his completion percentage? What are the wins? He has everything other than he did it at a D2 level.
Yeah.
He is, and we saw him in the preseason. He was able to escape the pocket. He got the ball out of his hand quickly to his receivers, and it seems like he could see the field, man. I love Fields, but if I'm seeing guys open on the couch, how are you not seeing him 10 yards in front of you in the seam? How? And you're wearing bright fucking orange. Come on.
Absolutely.
100%. Rip it. I watched this dude rip it at Ohio State. Grip it and rip it. And now it just seems like, I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if he's overthinking. I don't know if he's gun shy from getting hit so much in the last 2 years, but you have got to fucking rip it, dude. As much as I'm out on the coaches, you have got to do your job, Justin.
It's all of it, though, AC, and we talked about it last week. He's built up bad habits and warts, and you have to walk those back before you can be the guy you were when you were drafted. And that's my whole point is it's not like it's just, I just need to play more free and I'll be a 180 and I'll be slinging it like I have Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson on the outside. There's a lot of things that people miss, too, is the offense that Justin Fields is playing with. He had the rookie of the year. He had arguably the runner-up rookie of the year in Chris Olave. He had DeJuan Jones, who looks great. He has Paris Johnson that looks good. Yeah. I mean, the whole great offense. And then on top of that, again, this is understanding to Tooch's point. I think Justin Fields was a blue chip talent. But then you've now put 2 years of dysfunction, Nagy and his bullshit, the Larry Borum and Jermaine Ifedi tackles blocking for Fields as a rookie, the Cleveland game where he's just getting his ass beat. Then you enter year 2 and you tell the kid, I need you to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. And what happens? He's now developed his eyes drop and feel the pressure in the rush constantly. He freezes. He's got a deer in headlights. That's David Carr shit. And that's my whole point is like, I promise to God, I'd love to be wrong. All the people in the chat, you guys here can throw it in my face.
Yeah, I'd love to be wrong too, with you.
But he's not going to flip a 180. It does not happen that way. He's going to have to walk back to a starting point. And that's already a hard journey. I'm not saying he can't do it, but it seems like a real far-fetched to do it in this city with this staff, with this scenario, with this fan base.
Absolutely.
I'm done, man. Pull the plug.
Yeah.
Pull the plug. And I'm not, and this to the point of the Bajan thing, I don't want to put Bajan in either. Keep playing Fields. Fuck it. Just go for the next quarterback in the draft. But like, because that is my whole point to all the people that are like, put Bajan in. What is Bajan going to show you to make him worthy of a starter? I know people look at Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is playing.
I was going to say Purdy.
All-star team. He is playing with the Ohio State offense. That is what Brock Purdy is playing with.
Yeah.
You are going to put.
He's got great coaches.
You're going to put
my favorite coach in the league is right there in San Francisco.
You're going to put Tyson Bagent in, and the best he's going to do is he's going to operate the offense cleaner than what Justin Fields can do, which is a plus. It is an improvement. But this goes back to the point. I don't want to win this year. This year is toast, my guys. It's fucking over. So I don't need Tyson Bagent to jumpstart this team. Yep. I need them to lose a bunch of fucking games so that they have a chance at getting another quarterback.
Yeah, that's where we're at, week 2. So, look, after week 1, Jalen Johnson came out and said we need to go back to the drawing board. We went back to the drawing board after week 1. What the hell were they doing in the offseason? You know what I'm saying? It was that bad that we had to go at 1 week, and we had to go back to the drawing board because they didn't know what to expect against the Packers, who they play twice a year. Yeah. Twice a year. We play the same. Our offensive coordinator uses the Packers playbook. We practice against it in practice. We got pantsed by Matt LaFleur, who's younger than Jordan Silvera. You know, I'm so out on this coaching staff. I don't know whether this coach was hired to sink the ship.
What is Matt LaFleur's background? Offensive.
Offense, yep.
He's got his O-line, and he puts his quarterback in positions to win. He doesn't – we play hero ball in Chicago. Justin, go make a play. Save our ass. How many times did we see it last year? Justin, go save our ass. Run a 60-yard fucking touchdown. Please, do anything. And we thought, let's add some pieces and see if it goes forward. And now we're questioning, do these coaches have the right ability to make these guys win? You don't have the coach.
You don't have the coaches. Yeah. You don't have the coaches to get – you need to design a system that plays to Justin Fields' strength, Jordan Silvera's strengths, plays to Justin Fields' strengths. You know? They don't have – somebody could get creative with them. You know, you have to simplify the playbook, Trubiskyfy it. You have to Trubiskyfy the playbook. You know, simplify.
I mean, you say Trubisky, but even in Dallas, they talked about simplifying the playbook for Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
It's not like, and the guy that everyone wanted Justin to be, Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia, he's not playing great either.
Nope.
He lost his offensive coordinator. I mean, it's.
Yeah, he lost his offensive coordinator.
There's a comment I think needs to be addressed that was just said by some guy. If we're bringing up the whole snaps thing, look, I get it. I've been a giant proponent of the more snaps and throws you have, you know what I'm saying, I feel the better you'll do. But like I said before, bro, you have to look at things in this totality. The offense is not good. Yeah, there's dudes who are open. Okay, Fields needs to see the field better. What we're not taking into account is putting Bagent behind this O-line, which has been not even average.
And is now missing its left tackle.
It's only getting worse.
Missing the left tackle. So you're telling me you're trying to put in a less athletic quarterback at the moment. Makes a lot of fucking sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, he might be able to get the ball out because he sees the field better. Where is that getting us when your offensive line is costing you 10 to 15 yards damn near every 2 drives?
Yeah.
Every time we get a big play, your play calling is trash. You're calling screen after screen after screen.
And you're only using half the field at times.
So
take away half the field. I mean, why do they want to make Justin Fields make half field reads? But come on. This is the NFL. We shouldn't have to be doing that.
We're not even running Justin, though.
Yeah, we're not running him either. 3
running plays that I can count. We're not moving the pocket. With the same things, KB, we were in Cleveland watching this dude get killed because they just made him stand there. They didn't move the pocket. They didn't do all these things to help your quarterback out. They're not helping him, and then he's not seeing the field when there's plays there to be made. It's an all systems failure from the top to the bottom.
My thing is, like I said, my thing will always come back to this. Y'all remember, I said vehemently we needed to put Bagent on his roster. Why did I say that? Bagent needs to be on the fucking roster so he can learn to be an NFL quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not throw the man to the fucking wolves and say, oh, he needs to play. Because when Bagent comes in and gets destroyed, it's going to be, oh, well, he was the number 3 quarterback. He was undrafted. He was out of the D2, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Then it's going to be the same fucking thing that we've been talking about all this damn time. So now we just destroyed another fucking kid that's not being developed.
For what it's worth, let's not act like a bunch of, and I'm not saying me, I'm talking about legitimate NFL draft evaluators. You got, Dane Brugler and the rest of them. They liked Bagent. He wasn't a 4th round prospect in their book that the Bears somehow lucked up on in the 7th round. It was, or undrafted. They kind of like a 7th round undrafted guy. So yes, you found what looks to be a solid find in undrafted free agency. Pat yourselves on the back. Be happy about that. But the kid should learn. And 5,000 pass attempts. He ran quick game primarily in the preseason when everybody's hopping on dudes nuts. He was running quick game. That's beautiful against vanilla coverages in the preseason.
Exactly.
You want to know what that looks like in the regular season NFL play? Turn back to that game that my 2 co-hosts went to, the Cleveland Browns game where Justin Fields got sacked like 9 times, where all they did was play empty and put him in short game, quick game play. And what do the defenses do? They trigger and bite down on those routes. They know what everybody's running. Everybody's running curls, outs, slants, and the defense triggers down on it. So you can put Bagent there, but the reality is it's going to be a condensed look, and the kid's going to, unless you're telling me he's going to somehow be fitting balls through keyholes, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Look,
I saw it in the chat. Thought it'd be something that we could bring up. Like I said, I want Justin to work and I think I said it on Twitter. You got 2 what's looking like top 5 draft picks next year. If you don't have to use one of those on a quarterback, you can get you a left tackle out of Notre Dame. Joe Alt looks really good. And get you a pass rusher. Jared Verse from Florida State looks really good. And you can move forward, but then I go back to the coaching.
Play for Marvin
and
Harrison
I don't trust
Jr.
this coach. Even if he had the pieces, I don't trust this coach. I don't trust his defense. His defense does not work anymore in this league. And I hate talking in circles, but I feel like we're talking in circles, and it just sucks, you know. But is there a way? Is there a way to get this back on track, Jordan? I know you've waved the white flag. You say you're out on everyone.
Yeah, I'm wearing the white shirt today. It's white flag, guys.
All you can do is find out if Justin Fields can be the guy. And right now, it's trending towards no. As much as I hate it, but look, has he missed a lot of open throws? Sure, but coaches have to prepare him to see what's going on. Does he have the yips from being the most pressured, most sacked quarterback in the NFL last year? Yes. Is he playing behind a bad offensive line? Yes. Yep. You know, it's hard to evaluate Justin Fields. People are going to say, oh, he never could do this. If you have a good coach like Andy Reid, I'm sure you can make something with Justin Fields. You get Kyle Shanahan, could probably make something with Justin Fields. But you have to find out this year whether or not we can trade him for something, go in the draft to get one of the quarterbacks, and maybe make a play for Marvin Harrison Jr. and get a pass rusher or whatever, you know. But you have to find out this year because you're not whether or not you're going to renew his option, pick up his option, whatever. This is the year you have to find out, you know. So if they're gonna tank, you know, it's going to be a rough season for us.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned last week maybe they pick up Justin's option and draft a quarterback. I mean, we've seen the value of quarterbacks because of Brock Purdy. We've seen the value of these quarterbacks raised. DTR, a guy that, Jordan, we wanted in the draft, but I wanted him like 6th round, maybe 7th round. He went in the 4th, I think.
Yeah, 3rd or 4th. Yep.
These quarterbacks, because of what they're seeing Brock Purdy do in San Francisco, these GMs are saying, we can't wait. We have to take a swing on this guy, even if we think he has some things to work on. It just, I don't know. Aldo says, I hate moving players around, but the idea of moving Darnell Wright to left tackle and leaving him there for the next 10 years sounds intriguing.
We got to talk about the Braxton Jones injury. You know, Lucas Patrick has been ill. The secondaries, you know, you don't have Eddie Jackson. You know, you don't have Kyler Gordon. We're already hurting at secondary. What is Patrick Mahomes going to do against us? You know, no left tackle.
And Brisker went out in the 3rd game dehydrated. In the 3rd play of the game, dehydrated.
Who's going to line up at left tackle? Borum?
But I got to be honest, though. This game is like, I'm surprised people are like, oh, like a win, or you're wondering what it's going to look like. They played the Chiefs in the preseason last year, and you got to see what the starting – now, I know it was a worse team, but I'm telling you, the Bears are about the same quality. So you saw what the Chiefs did in their opening drive. It was like cake. They're going to cut through the Bears' defense like a knife through a hot knife through butter. That's okay. We know what this is. I don't know.
Can the Bears keep it within 12.5? I don't know. I mean, look, the Chiefs are notorious for not covering big spreads. You know, for whatever the
reason. Let everybody down last week in Jacksonville. Everybody bet the over, and
I don't know, man. I think this is Mr. Get Right game. Like I think Sky Moore is going to look nice. I think Kadarius Toney's going to look nice. Rasheed Rice is going to body some dudes.
Hold on. If Bajan starts, we beat, bro. Somebody get my man out the chat, bro. If Bajan starts, we beat KC, bro. Get out of here, dude. Stop it.
Was that really a comment?
That's really a comment. If Bajan starts, we beat KC, bro. Come on now. Come on now, dog.
There it is. All right.
I done seen idiotic enough today.
I usually Bajan around as a developmental guy. You got him under control for what, the next 2-3 years?
And I gotta say, I usually would let it fly, but I just feel like, you know, you're gonna call me out. I have to at least address. I had somebody say, like, really, Jordan, that's the way you build a team, is way for instant gratification. Then when they don't meet your expectations, you pull the plug. You're not a fan. You're a self promoter. I do think I was like at 8:15 in the morning, a few minutes ago. I got to be honest. His name's Squeegee. Squeegee, I think I'm a fan, but I got to be very honest. I am the least Bears fan out of anybody that you'll see. I have zero meatball in me. Zero. I don't give a fuck about keeping it honest and real. If the Bears are dog shit, they're dog shit. And guess what? They're fucking dog shit. They have been dog shit. I used to call the Bears a mediocre franchise, a middling one that kind of kept its way in the middle of the round. They are the fucking Browns and Jaguars and Lions 0-16 level. They are trending towards the bottom graveyard cellar dwellers of the league in comparison to what every fan wants the Bears to be. They sniff the playoffs once every 10 years. And even under Matt Nagy, who was dysfunctional, you're going to tell me that he went to the playoffs multiple times. They backed into the playoffs because there was an extra playoff spot created for the Bears to look like an embarrassment so that they could win Nickelodeon Valuable Player Awards.
Yeah,
this
Nagy
team is a fucking joke. So if you want to say I'm a self-promoter, I guess I'm not self-promoting anything. I think I know ball. I think I understand football. I'm pretty agnostic. I root for good football. The Bears do not play good football.
Nope.
So this whole idea of like I should be waiting for instant gratification when it doesn't work. No, I don't want instant gratification. I'm willing to give you time.
We've been waiting for 20 fucking years, dog. It's not instant anymore.
And then just in the current regime, I've given you 20 months. And people say, well, it takes more than 1 year to rebuild. Bullshit. I saw the Jaguars blow a fuck ton of money and in 1 year on free agency turn it around and they were successful.
They also hired an offensive coach.
I saw the Bengals get a number 1 pick and then the next year they were fucking balling. So to sit here and tell me that you've had 20 months and
also hired an offensive coach.
We're churning. We're churning this roster. We're fuck you. I'm done. Like sorry.
Look at what Sean McVay. This is the real coach. Sean McVay in Los Angeles is putting up points with a guy, undrafted wide receivers who run his system.
Luka Nakua and Tutu Atwell.
Van Jefferson. Crap at wide receiver, and he's making chicken salad. He's making some pretty fucking good chicken salad.
I guess it helps when you got Matt Stafford at quarterback. He's been doing that for years.
Yeah. Veteran quarterback and run the system. Understands a coach on the field. But that's what you need. I know that's why Jordan likes J.J. McCarthy. I know he had the 3 interceptions last week, but the kid is calm and pocket presence. That's why I like Shedeur Sanders. The kid's ice cold in the pocket, man. Well, he didn't look great against Oregon, but that's a tough place to play.
I don't get much chance to do it except on my Twitter thread. So I'm going to just take 2 minutes to just stand for J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah,
he's not going to be limited opportunities.
He's not going to be in the draft next year, though.
No, we'll see. Oh, I'm talking about J.J. McCarthy. You don't think he'll be in the draft?
Or Shedeur.
Okay, well, we'll see. The thing with JJ is he plays in a pro-style NFL offense. And this is where it's actually this is why I want him for the Bears, because the Bears, they do this shit. They make their quarterback play third fiddle, which is we're going to run the ball, we're going to have good defense, and then the quarterback just don't fuck up. That is what JJ McCarthy has had to live with under Jim Harbaugh. Oh, they have 2 great running backs. They give the kid limited opportunities to make plays. And if he costs them, they yank any opportunities he has and just go, okay, we'll just keep feeding it to Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards. The kid has all the athletic ability. Yes, he threw 3 interceptions last week against Bowling Green. I don't know. Did you watch the game yesterday, Tooch?
Yeah.
I think that they were in a tough-ass Rutgers game, and if he wasn't running the ball and making the plays that he was, they lose that game. Give me a kid like that. And this is what I'm saying. I think that he compares very favorably to Justin Fields. Justin Fields is a plus athlete, but J.J. McCarthy comes with a lot of – just for what it's worth, J.J. McCarthy plays with a graduate student out at wide receiver. And then he plays with Roman Wilson, who I like, who's a budget Chris Olave. And then he's playing with a freshman in Tyler Morris and Samaj Morgan. And he's making it work. There is no Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, DeJuan Jones.
Yeah. They lost, was it Keelan Coleman? Is that his name? It went to
Keon Coleman.
He's on Florida State now, I think.
Yeah, but I don't think he was Michigan. He was with Michigan State.
No, it's on Michigan.
Really?
Yeah, 6'4", big kid. I saw him play yesterday. Yeah. I thought it was Michigan.
Michigan State, 21-22.
Oh, was it Michigan State? All right.
Yeah. Anyways, sorry, I had to
I think it might have been Michigan State, bro.
I'd rather have a guy that reads defenses than a plus athlete, because that's what. Look at Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford will carve you up. He's not a great athlete.
All you got to do is be athletic enough.
Brock Purdy's not a great athlete. I mean, he's a good athlete, but he understands the system. He understands how to read the coverage. And that's what success. That's what succeeds in today's NFL. I mean, the defenses are tough. You have to make a decision in less than 2.5 seconds because the pass rush is getting there. And Justin Fields will hold the ball for 5 seconds because the coaches aren't coaching him. Wide receivers weren't on the right page, not running the right routes. Cole Kmet's one of the most unathletic tight ends I've ever seen in my life. He's slow. he's just a good blocker. I don't know how. The next time Cole Kmet makes an athletic play, it'll be his first.
I like Cole. I like him.
I like him too.
Guys.
He's a great kid. But he's not a good athlete.
Yeah.
He's stiff as hell in his hips. But yeah. What about some predictions? So we got to get moving on the game.
Yeah, it is 11:30. We didn't talk much about this game. There was so much that happened through the week, and then last week, and then the Halas Hall is burning to the ground. I guess we got to kind of get into these score prediction, bowl predictions, and an MVP. If you got one, I'll start with Jordan and go around, and I'll finish it up myself.
Chiefs win this game 38-24.
You got to score that many points?
I think for what it's worth, I do think Justin Fields plays more free. I think that Luke Getsy found a way to call Greg Roman and where he's at in Stanford or wherever he is now and go, hey, I ripped your plays off last year. Can I get a few more of them to rip off? So I do think that Justin Fields plays more free. I think that they find a way to – I think he creates some mayhem with Spags' defense. They make a few plays. Reality, what they put up against the Bucs around that same amount. So 38, 20, 21, 24, somewhere around that range. MVP of the game, give me DJ Moore. He's the only guy that I feel like every time the ball touches his hands, good things happen.
So you got to get the damn ball.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, KB.
Okay. Shit.
Oh, I guess I should have said shout-outs too if y'all want to hit shout-outs. Sorry, Jordan. If you want to hit shout-outs, then we'll continue.
Shout-outs just to you fellas. Enjoy you all, and I appreciate everybody in the chat. Those that, if you don't like me, haters, keep me motivated, keep pushing. And I know truth hurts. It's not fun, but I appreciate you all being here. Love you all, and we'll do it next week.
Yeah.
I'll say this. Chiefs 35, Bears 17. I can see us getting that early touchdown that we usually get. I can see us having one drive where we almost get there, and then the same bullshit happens. We get backed up X amount of yards, have to kick a field goal, and then we get a garbage time touchdown. MVP, I'm just gonna say my cousin. I don't fucking care anymore.
It's a good one.
I go with my cousin. I get my cousin his first sack of the season.
He plays the hardest. He's the guy that plays the hardest on the entire team.
So I'll go with that. Like I said, I'm staring down the barrel 0-5 to me. I just don't see this team getting any better. I would love for the shit to happen. I would love for us to be good again at whatever point, but let's be realistic. It's like my boy Jordan said, you have to agree on one thing. This team is trash, bro. And there's nobody's gonna sit here and rationally pick them to win a goddamn game. Right now, I have us we're the worst team in the NFL. The way I see it, we should probably have the first and the second pick like they were giving Arizona.
Yeah.
So do with that what you want.
Arizona, for all their faults on their roster, they're fighting hard and they're up in games. And then their owner calls down and says, well, what are you guys doing?
I have no idea. Who's the coach of Arizona? I have no idea who the coach is.
He's the former defensive coordinator from Philly. I can't remember his name. Gannon or
Rich, is it not Rich Gannon? That's somebody else. It's Gannon, but
the tuck rule, Rich Gannon. Right.
Yeah. So, but shout outs, man. Shout out to y'all boys, man, getting on here. Like I said, it's therapy session because you need it. We do these shows, bro, and just because we doing these shows don't mean we finna get on here and meatball, bro. I can care less. Anybody, you can feel the way y'all feel about Jordan or say what the fuck y'all want to say. That man is knowledgeable and he speaks truth. And until this team shows us something else, nothing he says is wrong.
I appreciate it, Davey. Give me something to root for. Give me some reason to respect you and be a fan. I promise I'll join when you give me a reason to.
Like I said, when I'm feeling like my boy Badge is feeling, and it's starting to get to that point where I'm like, bro, we've been doing this shit for years and we've been saying the same shit damn near every show for years.
Yeah.
And nothing's changed. It is what it is. I mean, shout out to everybody that's in the chat. I love the engagement. I love just the manner of going back and forth with people. I'm not gonna call you out and talk shit about you like I hate you or nothing like that. I'm here for a good conversation. I'm here for a good argument. It is what it is. It's football. That's what we do.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, bro, I love y'all, man. Love everybody in the chat, man. Stay tuned for the game, man. Just stay tuned. It's gonna be shows going on then. And I'm pretty sure they're gonna be a lot worse than what this is.
Yeah. Go ahead, Toots.
All right. Look, people are calling us fair weather fans. Well, I'm going on 50 years as a fan. 40 of those I support the team, or 30, whatever. How many years am I supposed to support unconditionally before I turn on them and say, look at all the dumbass moves you guys are making? Like, Jordan just came to it before a lot faster than me. He's quicker, But when you could point out as a fan the organizational failings, you get to the point where, like, change has to be made. These decisions that they make year after year that backfire. I know hindsight's 2020, but I mean, you have to be a step ahead of the competition, and we have never been a step ahead of the competition. Shout out to, man, the chat was fired today. They're a bit salty, but yeah, I love the chat today. I'm going to say the team total for the Chiefs is 30.5. I'll take 31 Chiefs, Bears 13. I don't like it. Maybe they luck into it. Maybe 31-16. The offensive coordination is dog shit. You're an offensive coordinator. Your offensive line missing blocks. They don't know the plays. The receivers are running the wrong routes.
They're blocking each other.
Yeah, blocking each other. The tight end runs ahead of his blocks, doesn't follow his blocks. I mean, JT O'Sullivan completely shredded this offensive coordinator, the offensive system. It's completely a failure. It's a complete failure. Now we have the defensive coordinator resigning. I mean, this is a ship that's sinking. I hate to say it, you're going up against the world champion Chiefs with Andy Reid, a real coach, a real fucking coach, and a very underrated defense.
The Matt Nagy revenge game.
Even if Justin Fields runs for 200 yards, we still lose this game because we have morons at coach.
20.
We lose the game by 20. I don't know what to say. We're going to be 0-3, and the losing streak reached 13 games.
Tooch, what is the the total for the game? The over under?
It's 47.5 or 48.5.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're looking at the Chiefs scoring like 31 and the Bears under 17 for a team total.
Dude, you said it so much. That's why I'm laughing. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at
I'm just saying. Look,
well, because you got receivers. I gotta say, JT O'Sullivan does the best videos. Those are my therapy. I laugh. Sure. It's like a comedy show. Watching this clown
he
car.
Admits it. He says it's a comedy show. He says I can't help it. That the asshole in me comes out.
Yeah, you got two guys on the same side of the field running the exact same route, ending up in the same spot.
Yeah, 4 yards apart from each other.
Yeah, and then your tight end jumps up and knocks the ball down that was going somewhere.
In 1 week, they just hit a switch. In 1 week, all of that stuff is just going to be magically fixed, and the Bears are going to bounce back and they're going to beat the Chiefs. Just because, they snap their fingers and all of a sudden the receivers are going to run the right routes. They're not going to be next to each other. They're going to start running full field reads. Like it's just going to boom. They're going to win.
Hey, you don't have teachers that can teach the West Coast offense, whether it's philosophy, whether it's reading the defense, whether it's learning the giant 10,000-page playbook, which would anybody would fail at reading a book that big. You have to live it. You have to learn behind. Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre for 4 years, But I just want to, if I'm going to do some shout outs, this is my college football day yesterday.
Hey,
nice.
Okay.
I see almost 16 units. Top
money.
Top three 5-unit plays. So I had the first half under Alabama, Ole Miss. Second play was LSU, Arkansas over. Third play was James Madison Dukes on the road at Utah State. That was 15 units right there, almost 15 units. So it was a nice day in college football for Pounded Sports. Anthony and myself. So if you want to get some wagering tips, watch the show on Friday night. Sign up for VIP with Anthony, myself, or Sean. So and that's it, man. I want to say the Barfly Tailgate show brings it every week. Every week.
Appreciate it. Well, did you hit everything, Tooch? I'm trying to.
I think so. I got my score. I didn't give out my most valuable player. I'm going to go with Roshan Johnson. He's the only guy that's making plays.
There you go.
Yeah, he's definitely He should be RB1. We said it. Jordan said it in the offseason. You guys want to talk shit about Jordan and his eye for talent? He called Roshan Johnson in the offseason.
Right.
He's called DeJuan Jones, who looks like a straight up fucking baller at right tackle that they grabbed in the fourth round. I don't know, but you know, Jordan had him as his top tackle in the draft. If we do start 0-5, we might start talking draft midway through the season on this moment.
We damn right there now.
But yeah, definitely. First and foremost, shout out to you guys. Thanks for coming on here with me this morning, and just like KB said, enjoying our little therapy session where we could talk about all the things wrong with the Bears and hoping it changes. And well, I mean, we're going to be fans regardless if they change it or not, because you know I got too much Bears gear to change teams now. But
plus I love to be that wife that knows that the husband is cheating and staying around. So you know, as a love, I love abuse. Apparently,
he's
you know what I'm saying? Toxic
good 401k or something. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Healthcare. You know.
Anyway, yeah, so definitely shout out to you guys. Shout out to the chat. Just like Touche said, they were on fire today, man. Everybody in there coming in with their comments. We got off on a tangent with Bajent and all of that. And some are in it, some are out, and we'll find out in a few weeks if we ever see him or if we're just I don't fucking know. So definitely shout out to the chat. My score prediction, fellas. Last week, I came in here and I said, your backs are against the wall. Let's see how you fight back. And they showed some fight, but they still ultimately lost. And today, I'm feeling awfully Trestman-y. I already told you guys this. The defense doesn't work. The offense looks incompetent. They don't know what they're doing out there. And I don't know if we have the coaches to get them in the right place. I think Justin Fields makes some good plays. He's going to go out there and he says he's not going to think. He's just going to go, which could turn out to be, like KB said, a 200-yard passing game, or maybe he throws 4 picks. I don't know, but I just want to see him rip it. You know, when you see guys open, just rip it. Don't think, just fucking rip it. And but I do think that this is the beginning of the end, and I'm hoping – I hate to say this in week 3, but I'm hoping that we end up with a new head coach in the middle of the season. I'm just over it with Eberflus. I'm over hearing about his philosophy and getting your track shoes ready and not telling anybody anything about what's going on. Loafs. He's been loafing all year. Not telling anybody anything about what's going on inside the building. I mean, we had a defensive coordinator resign, and the only thing the Bears said was Alan Williams resigned. Like, what? Okay, can we get any context to that? I mean, it caused
Can I say something about that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Daniel Greenberg and you know, he's a decent reporter. According to Adam Schefter, the reason that Alan Williams resigned as the defensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears was because of inappropriate activity and that Bears HR was involved.
Wow. Well, maybe they will.
Daniel Greenberg, take it for what you want to leave it, but he's literally tagging Adam Schefter in the tweet. So I presume
we've seen owners in other sports do less things and have to be forced to sell their team. I don't see that as the McCaskies, but it is what it is, man. If they got to sell this team, maybe that's the change we need in Chicago, the hope that we need in Chicago. But saying all that, I will say, like I said, this feels like Trestman era to me. And remember when we went back to back, I think it was New England and Philly, gave up 50 burgers, and that was really when the Bears fans were like, we told y'all it's time to move on. I think Kansas City, this is a get-right game for them. I think they put it on us. It's a Matt Nagy revenge game, and our defense doesn't work. Give me Chiefs 52, Bears 14. I think they absolutely demolish us from start to finish. Our offensive line's not going to be good. We lost our left tackle, and our defense doesn't work. Andrew Billings will have a good game. He's always going to do his job, and that was something that we said when we signed him. Andrew does his fucking job. He goes out there. He stuffs the run. KB, you said he's getting a sack. I mean, if he gets a sack, you better shoot him a text from the Barfly Tailgate show.
What happened to Chris today?
Chris is under the weather. Okay. He said he's got a cold this morning.
Bearsitis.
He Yeah, we're all a little under the weather, I think.
Bears flu. Yep.
Hey man,
Yeah,
I do got great news though. Okay, one of my favorite performers of all time is doing the halftime show. So Usher will do the halftime show in the Super Bowl.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
That's a dub for me.
I
I'm
thought
good.
he was from
Love it.
Atlanta. What's he doing in Chicago doing the show?
Hey man, listen, I'm just talking. You know what I mean?
But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will quickly say too that the Bears are going to make history today, not in probably the way that we want, but if Andy Reid and the Chiefs beat the Bears today,
Yeah.
Andy Reid surpasses Tom Landry with 270 career wins. So the
Damn.
Bears are going to help make history today.
Damn.
Yeah, so I think it's a blowout though. And the
Really,
MVP,
chance?
I'm gonna have to go with Justin Fields because he's got to go out there and put it all on the line. I can't pick the defense when we give up 50 points in my prediction, and Roshan Johnson's already gone, and Justin's gonna have to make plays with his feet because the O line's not good and it's getting worse week after week. So it's I hate to see it. I hate to say it as a Bears fan. I'll always be a Bears fan. But how am I supposed to? How is this going to continue when I'm trying to get my son? I've told you guys this. I want my son to be a Bears fan because I'm a Bears fan. But when there's a team an hour away from me that puts up a fun offense to watch, a star quarterback in Joe Burrow, as long as he's not hurt, and some sweet ass uniforms. I mean, they pull out the all whites. I think they're pulling them out tomorrow night. It's just, I think it's a beautiful uniform. It's just difficult for me to like every day, every Sunday. Scotty's like, what the Bears do? I'm like, well, they lost, and he's like, again. I'm like I get tired of saying that and hearing that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we'll get out of here, and we'll just. I guess we'll just leave everybody with a bear down.
Fantasy
Bear down,
football
bear down.
goon next.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
Goon and Tooch.